the call to the member for Bean.
Thanks, Deputy Speaker. Well, listening to this debate, you might want to know what happened to the last decade. But, Deputy Speaker, the 2022-23 Services Australia report revealed an agency left crippled by a decade of coalition cuts and neglect. And, Deputy Speaker, I want to begin this response to this motion by recognising the 30,000 or so staff who work at Services Australia. Near my elected office in Greenway are the headquarters of Services Australia and the Department of Social Services, and many of those staff are my constituents. In Tuggeranong and Woden, I have two great Service Australia centres. They are professionals with decades of experience. They are passionate Commonwealth employees that have dedicated their careers to serving Australians most in need. 10 years ago, Deputy Speaker, these workers were sidelined and silenced when those opposite came to power. They were forced to watch as sensitive and vital face-to-face work was contracted to outside organisations, and valuable skill sets and knowledge were ripped from their agency. Deputy Speaker, those workers continue to live with the consequences of those cuts. The legacy in those agencies is the continued loss of talent and brain drain, overworked, underpaid and underappreciated frontline staff with growing caseloads. Over the past decade, the former government decimated Service Australia's frontline to make way for malicious, profit-making programs like Robodebt, where people were an afterthought at both ends of that program. Deputy Speaker, this Labor government says no more and never again. The Albanese government has agreed to, in full or in principle, to all 56 recommendations of the Royal Commission into the Coalition Robodebt scandal. Deputy Speaker, one of the key recommendations of the Royal Commission into Robodebt outlined that the government should facilitate easy and efficient engagement options of online, in-person and telephone communication which is sensitive to the particular circumstances of the customer cohort. This is why the government is making an immediate $228 million funding injection to frontline and service delivery staffing at the agency this financial year. Deputy Speaker, it's only by funding the return of people to government services to have a people-centred approach and get away from the robo systems beloved by the last government that we can ensure Robodebt never happens again. The new staff will be critical to reducing call wait times, speeding up claim payments and giving Australians back some time in their busy lives. Services Australia will be bringing on the staff as quickly as possible, with more than 800 Australians already accepting jobs at the agency. Deputy Speaker, this announcement comes at a time when Services Australia has fewer public servants per capita than at any other time as a result of the former government gutting staff at the agency. The previous government didn't keep up to pace in supporting Australians who rely on critical government services. They defunded Services Australia, they reduced its staffing numbers and they negotiated underwhelming industrial agreements. They created the very conditions which they are now criticising. We know that when people are waiting a long time for their claims to be processed, they turn to the phones to seek answers. This is unfortunately adding to call centre traffic, meaning more people aren't getting through. Deputy Speaker, as I discussed earlier, we must facilitate easy and efficient engagement options of all types. That's why we're also strengthening and enhancing online access via MyGov. In the 2023 budget, the government committed to investing a total of $134 million to sustain improvements in this area as well. But Deputy Speaker, this government understands that Australians in need of support from their government should be able to access assistance in an easy, timely and human manner.
And I thank the member for Bean for their contribution.